Mrs. Smith, I'm here today to get a little background information about your husband. I've heard he's had speech therapy for a few years now. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, as you know, Vern got in a car accident.
Okay.
Yes, and he has had speech therapy for the past 2 years.
Okay.
Long time. It hasn't been going too great.
It hasn't? What do
No.
you mean?
Oh, every session, the speech therapist comes in, has a whole plan, what she wants to get through, and every time, Vern will fall asleep.
He falls asleep,
He
all right?
falls asleep.
Oh, what are the quotation
I
marks
don't think
for?
he's really that sleepy.
Okay.
You know, he's a stubborn guy, and I just don't know why he doesn't want to get better. I tell him, Vern, you need to get better. And he's just not trying.
Does he act this way just in therapy, or is it with everyone?
Mostly strangers, he'll
Okay.
just stop talking. To me, he talks, but the therapist and strangers, he just doesn't want to interact.
Does it? So he's a little bit uncooperative during therapy?
I'd say so, yes. Very
All right.
uncooperative.
All right. Is there anything your husband is interested in? Does he have any hobbies?
Well, yes. You know, his job was his life.
Okay.
Up until that accident, he was very invested in. He was an engineer.
Okay.
So
all right.
he felt like he was making a difference. It was his purpose, but now he likes his videos, his audio cassette tapes.
All right.
He loves organizing them. He loves things a certain way.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
All right, so I'm glad I got this background info. We're going to have a speech therapist come in, give an evaluation to him, maybe look into AAC as an option for him.
Would that help him communicate?
We're hoping so.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Okay, hi Mr. Smith. I'm your SLP. Today we're going to be doing an AAC evaluation. I know you were in a car accident and you had a CVA. So we're going to figure out if you need either a high-tech device or a low-tech device. High-tech devices like Dynavox, really cool stuff. And then low-tech, maybe PECs. We just need to...
Whoa. Let's step back and reassess. So you're the new speech therapist that's going to be working with Vern. How do you think that session was going?
You know, when I walked into the therapy session, he was sleeping, which I wasn't too surprised by because I have talked to his other therapists and they said he usually is sleeping or he's pretending to sleep because he doesn't seem engaged in the therapy session. So it went okay. He seemed kind of uninterested. He was a little uncooperative. He didn't respond to what I was saying and what I wanted him to do.
Right. Did you try to get to know Vern at all first?
You know, I didn't, only because I had a plan and I had to get through an entire evaluation. And so I wanted to stick to my plan and just do what I had to do.
Right. How do you know AAC was the best option for Vern?
Because I felt like this was the last step. For 2 years, he hasn't made any improvement. So he's not communicating to the therapist or strangers. So I felt like this is what we needed to do at this point.
Well, it seems to me that there might be some deeper issues with Vern.
Okay.
From an outsider's perspective, I was watching, it looked like you were using a lot of jargon with him that he probably didn't understand. You were kind of pushing AAC on him.
Right.
He wasn't ready for it. He doesn't know anything about it. The technique you were using was probably making him feel inadequate, probably very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be persuading Vern into something that he doesn't understand and he's not ready for. Did you notice any of these things?
You know, I did, and I know I did use a lot of jargon. I said a lot of stuff like CVA and AAC, high-tech, low-tech, and I get now that he probably didn't know what these things meant, but at the time I felt so rushed, and I didn't want to take the time to explain it, I guess.
So what I'm thinking is maybe instead of doing the assessment and the first evaluation, maybe you can try a new technique. There's something called listening and valuing. And this is where you just take some time to get to know Vern, find out his feelings. He had this major communication problem, and now his communication abilities are impaired. So why don't you talk to him a little bit, This will increase his confidence so he feels like he has a voice in the matter. You know, AAC might not even be the best option for Vern. We need to find that out. A person goes through, or they have a communication disorder, there's different levels of coping they go through, and Vern is going through all these levels. He's confused, he's mad, he's going through all this, and he needs you there for him, and he needs you to understand this. So what can we change for this next session?
You know, I think this next section, I'll probably just scratch my whole plan and just try to get to know him, ask about his interests, and maybe he'll kind of open up to me and we can figure out a better plan.
I think that sounds good. Let's give it a try.
Hi, Vern. Vern, hi. No, I'm your speech therapist. You met me earlier. How are you feeling right now? Okay. Yeah? You seem a little tired. Are you tired? Yeah. Okay. So I heard you were in a car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Now I talked to your wife earlier. She said you were an engineer. Okay, let's stay awake.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now she told me you like videos. Do you like videos and cassettes?
Videos.
Okay, good.
Whoa. Let's reevaluate again. So how did you feel like that was going?
It didn't go as well as I hoped it would. I really tried to engage him and I tried to ask him questions to get to know him better, but he seemed so turned away. He wasn't looking at me, he wasn't responding well to me, he even fell asleep during some of it. So I was really disappointed with how it went.
So what you were doing was asking a lot of closed-ended questions, and what this does is limit his responses. Closed-ended questions aren't always bad, but in Vern's case, we need to use open-ended questions. These encourage him to respond and talk about things that are interesting to him. So that's what we want to use. Open-ended questions are things like WH questions, the who's, what's, where's, when's, and why's. Those kind of questions. That's what you want. Another thing I noticed in that first session was the silences. When there would be a little bit of a silence, you would kind of jump in with more questions. Although it may seem awkward, silences aren't always a bad thing. It may be good to just enjoy the silence. Give Vern time to expand. Just let the silence fill the air and let Vern talk a little bit.
Right, okay.
One more thing, what did you think about your body language throughout that?
You know, I did try to be engaged and I tried to lead forward. I tried. I don't know if it was appropriate or...
It was on point.
Okay.
Your body language was excellent. You were nodding, and every chance you got, you were leaning in. You were affirming his communication, and that's what we want to do.
Good.
So we're going to start again with Vern. We're going to go in there, and if it's okay, I'm going to sit in with you and ask a few questions, if that's all right.
Yes.
We'll go in together. Should we try it?
Mm-hmm.
All right! So, Vern, can you tell me a little bit about your accident?
Well, let's see. I was in a car accident and my head, it got hurt. And it's not working as well.
And how does that make you feel?
I feel angry. And I don't feel like myself anymore. Nobody really, they rush me, try to get me to talk.
So I can tell you don't feel the same as you used to. Things maybe have changed, maybe it's a little slower for you. Yeah. Well, a similar thing actually happened to my dad too. He had a stroke and he feels the same way you do. It was really hard for him to get out words and just to talk like he used to, but you know, he just kept working and eventually he got much better.
So, Vern, why do you think speech therapy hasn't been effective in the past?
She won't listen to me. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in what she wants me to talk about. I'd just rather go to sleep.
So you feel like she's not taking in what you want to do, and she's not listening to your hobbies or your likes?
I don't want to just point
Mm-hmm.
and name
Yeah.
a picture.
Yeah.
The things on the cards.
Mm-hmm. No, that's understandable. That's hard.
So let's talk a little bit about your life before the accident. Do you feel like things are different now? I know you were an engineer before. How have things changed?
Yeah, I built stuff, and it's all I knew. Now I can't do that. I don't know what I should do now.
So you feel like your purpose has changed, right?
I'm not an engineer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you had this great job before, and after the accident, things changed, and maybe you can't do everything you did before, but you can find new hobbies and new things that interest you. Yeah.
So, Vern, in our very first session, our speech therapist here mentioned AAC. Do you know what that means?
AAC?
Yeah. Have you heard of that?
No. Well, AAC, it stands for Augmentative and Alternative Communication, and it's to help you when your speech isn't coming out right.
Oh,
So
that happens.
It does. So if you can't get your speech out, it's another form of communication that can help you get it out maybe a little quicker.
So just last thing, Vern, looking around your room, I'm seeing all these video and audio tapes. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
my videos?
Uh-huh.
I love them. I organize them.
Yeah, I can tell.
What do you like about that?
I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I can organize them by color and by title.
I can see that. So I think what would be helpful is if we incorporated some of these things that you love into the therapy session, different videos, and we could watch them and talk about them. Would that make you happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Like
You know, I feel like I've learned so much here, and I feel like if people take the time and they listen to you, and I mean, your life has changed after this accident, and I think what we need to do is find some new hobbies and just incorporate your old hobbies that you love. And, you know, I'll talk to Bertha and maybe explain to her and kind of fill her in on everything.
Bertha likes to talk for me.
She does. You're right. You know, we'll talk to her and we'll kind of explain to her that she just needs to take more time and listen to you and let you kind of get out what you need to say. So I think this was really helpful today.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Vern.
That was a great therapy session that Maddie just ran. She used a variety of techniques and strategies that really allowed Vern to open up and feel comfortable and at ease. The way she did that will allow future therapy sessions to be productive and effective.